Hey, welcome to week 6. We are going to be doing, obviously, argument writing. So we are going to be writing our essay about are we team Mark or are we team Carly or are we team Work It Out? So please make sure you finished the week 5 assignment, that you read through all the sources, and that you did your evidence note catcher, because that's really going to help you be successful on this essay. So first, we're going to talk about just what goes into an argument essay and the formatting, and then we'll go into specifically with this prompt, what it should look like. So you start with your introduction paragraph. It has 3 things. It has your hook, your background information, and your thesis statement. The hook is just to get your reader's attention. So how are you going to get their attention and get them interested in Mark and Carly? Okay. Then you go into your background information. What information does your reader need to know for your essay to make sense? So what background information do they need to know about Mark? Do they need to know about Carly? This should just be 2 to 3 sentences, real brief, just introduce us to the characters. And then your thesis statement. That is 1 sentence. It's the last sentence in your introduction paragraph, and it is the most important sentence in your essay, because you're outlining what's your answer and what's your reasons why. Okay, so you answer the question that Mark should dump Carly, that Carly should dump Mark, or that they should work it out, and why. So that is your introduction. Let's look at an example introduction. This is about school uniforms. So should schools require students to wear uniforms? So I've got my hook. The idea of school uniforms may seem like a strange idea for many students in the United States. So I'm talking about the topic. Doesn't have to be super fancy, but it gets the readers interested in what's going on. Then we have a couple background information sentences, just talking about school uniforms and what's going on with uniforms right now. So unless a child attends private school, it is not normally practiced by schools. Yet around the world, wearing school uniforms is the norm. Students studying in schools requiring school uniforms generally perform very well academically and seem happy wearing the same outfit every day. So there's my background information about the topic of uniforms. And then I have my thesis statement, my answer, and my 2 reasons. Schools should require their students to wear uniforms. There's my answer, because uniforms makes kids feel safe and connected to the school. So my first reason is that they feel safe. My second reason is that they feel connected. So my whole first body paragraph is going to be about safety, and my whole second body paragraph is going to be about feeling connected. So body paragraphs. You start with a topic sentence. The topic sentence is the first sentence of body paragraphs, and it's your position plus 1 of your reasons. So you're kind of restating your thesis with your answer, but just your first reason. Then you have evidence that supports that reason, so direct information from the sources. And then analysis, explain, make that connection. What does that evidence have to do with your reason and your answer and your claim? And then kind of sum it up. So if you use ACEs, the topic sentence is just your A, answer the question, and then you have your evidence, which is the C, so answer, cite, evidence, and then E, explain, that would be the analysis. Okay. If you use the tree, topic and reason would be the topic sentence, evidence, and explain, TREE. So let's look at an example. The first sentence is our topic sentence, our answer and our reason. Remember, the reason in the thesis statement was safety, and we're talking about getting rid of bullying in the first paragraph, which has to do with safety. We just don't state it word for word. So one of the biggest concerns in schools these days is bullying, and school uniforms can help prevent this issue. So we should have uniforms. Here's why. For example, a superintendent in New Jersey stated that, and then I have a direct quote, author's last name and page number. Okay. For your evidence, there's no author. If someone said something, you can quote who said it. But other than that, you can just use the page number. And then I explain, how does this quote answer my question? Well, uniforms allow children to learn on a more level playing field with less judgment about clothing choices, brands of clothing, or physical appearance. Okay, that'll make them feel safer. Then I have my second piece of evidence, my second analysis, and then I sum it up. Okay, so again, ACES is ACECES, tree, TREEEE. Or if you just do the topic sentence, evidence analysis, evidence analysis. So that's one body paragraph. You would have at least 2 body paragraphs. So if it's Mark should dump Carly, first paragraph is about one reason, second paragraph is about another reason. If you're arguing the opposite side, obviously like that. So Carly should dump Mark, one reason and the other reason. Counterclaim. The counterclaim is where you acknowledge a reason that somebody might disagree with your answer, and then you refute it. The rebuttal is you use evidence to explain why you are right and they are wrong. We are not switching sides, okay? You're not saying, well, uniforms actually can be bad, and so, yeah, they're also right too. No, it's some people may disagree with me, but here's why I'm right and here's why they're wrong, okay? So let's look at an example. Remember, I'm arguing that schools should require uniforms. So my counterclaim, some people might fear that by making children look the same, their individuality will be taken away. Okay, so that's why some people might not want uniforms. Now, I'm not going to switch sides. I'm not going to say, yeah, that's a good point. They're also right. No, okay, I'm going to use evidence to crush that idea. Okay, however, this is not the case. 2 magazines, 17 and Teen Vogue, list numerous suggestions for students on how to add their personal style to school uniforms, including hairstyle options, nail polish, and the addition of colorful accessories such as satchels, scarves, and socks. Besides, students can wear their own clothing after school and during weekends. Also, wearing a school uniform does not and will not stop students from being themselves. Uniforms can have such a positive impact on schools, and losing the individuality of students is not an issue to be concerned about. Even though some people think uniforms are bad, they're not. So I acknowledge, hey, here's why some people might not want uniforms, but here's why they shouldn't worry about that, and here's why I'm still right. So if you're on Team Mark and you want Mark to dump Carly, this paragraph you'd say, hey, here's some reason some people think Carly should dump Mark because Mark's the bad guy, but here's why they're wrong, and you prove that wrong. You kind of poke holes in that argument, okay? And then same on the other side. Conclusion. So what? Why is your argument and topic important? Call to action. What can your reader and audience do? And restate your thesis. So let's look at an example first, then I'll talk about ours. So in conclusion, school uniforms matter because they can greatly enhance school cultures and atmospheres as a whole. Uniforms could offer significant benefits to students, teachers, administrators, and communities. There's my so what. There's why it's important. To help this issue, you could contact your local school district and share the benefits of uniforms. That's my call to action. All in all, schools should require their students to wear uniforms. Restate my opinion. With Mark and Carly, it's a hypothetical relationship with made-up people, but you can talk about relationships in general. Okay, why is it important to look at maybe to have trust in relationships? Why is it important to be honest with your friends or significant others? And then the call to action is what can people do to have healthier relationships? Okay, so you might kind of have to get creative, but I think you guys can do it. Okay, so that takes us to our actual assignments for the week. The first one is a rough draft. This chart is here to help you, not to make your life harder. So we have in our introduction paragraph, hook, background, thesis. You can kind of take notes. Doesn't have to be full sentences, but it could to just kind of get your thinking down. Body paragraph 1, body paragraph 2, counterclaim paragraph, and our conclusion. And then we have notes down here at the bottom that just reminds you what everything means and where things go. Okay, so for your hook, if you want to type in like, I'm just going to type in, here is my hook. It is a very good hook. Okay. So if you actually type in your hook, then you can just copy and paste it once your outline is done. We can just copy and paste that into our final draft. okay, which is right here. So you'll get the heading right. So put in your first and last name, the date. You're going to give your essay a title, okay? All the formatting is right. It's Times New Roman. We got to make this 12-point font, double spaced. That's how you do it. Once you type in your title, if you hit enter and you just start typing, it didn't do it there. Usually it starts it centered, but we're not, okay? So we obviously indent, tab over because it's a paragraph, and you can just copy and paste from your outline, over into the essay and make it flow. Then you can just kind of add some transitions in there. Let's see, couple other things to go over. Use transitions. Make sure your paper flows. Use correct grammar, spelling, and punctuation. When you cite evidence, we kind of talked about that already. Make sure your writing flows. Use MLA guidelines. So Times New Roman, 12-point font, double spaced. And yeah, so you'll type your essay in there. MLA essay, it'll look kind of like this. Not kind of like this, it will look like this, formatted. So tab in, double spaced, Times New Roman, 12-point font. Okay, that is how your essay should look when it's done. If you get a draft of your essay done before Thursday, you can email it to me and I'll read it and offer comments and feedback, and then you can change it up before Friday. But if you don't get it done till Friday, I'll just score what you turn in. Okay? So if you have any questions at all with this process, go ahead and email me. And the attendance word for this week is stop sign. So if you missed our meet on Monday, email me the word stop sign. I will know that you watched this lesson and that you are good to go. All right. So have fun with this. Team Mark or Team Carly. Have a good week, guys.